remembering his past. He is the second Eric. We are in New York in the present and Ant-Man is remembering his past. He is the second Eric O'Grady. His father built him to do this. Eric's father was a mad scientist. He wanted to turn everyone into machine. Grady, who was super dead at the time, this Eric was supposed to replace him and then betray his friends. He is black and the would imply that he had a choice. He didn't. He was programmed this way. Then Eric joined task. Tony chooses to dress like this, who combines a skull mask with pirate boots. Sent him in search of a weapon. Then we observe the North Pole, the Avengers Mountain. There Tony fought. Ultron was recommended to be melted in a dwarven oven. In this way they would fulfill two purposes. A Viking funeral for his partner Hank Pym. Iron Man understands Thor, but they already talked. He's going to melt first and then he'll be free. Tony's plan is quite different. Thinking about a grain of sand in a desert, they must simply shrink it to the point where they enter. They will build a pressure where they will put Ultron to the test. This decision seems quite intelligent. They could even... From time to time Tony likes the idea, but for that they will need the help of another. Scott hurries and soon he appears. Scott Land along with his daughter Quasi-Land. Scott has... Even though she's Quasi, it's not like that. Scott doesn't work here and this isn't bring your daughter to work. Iron Man has called her an Avenger. According to Tony, not in the full sense of the word, but this is not a job for children. Scott asks them both not to be so hard. Besides, this job is going to be easy. You just have to... Lab. Hank asks if you mean the lab that is in New York, and if so that is exactly the one. Thor should not take this villain where civilians or they could get hurt. Iron Man agreed. They could still steal Ultron. Scott asks them not to worry. He is going to shrink this. However, Tony still doesn't feel very safe. Suddenly the alarm sounds through a hologram. Peril. All the Avengers Fury Iron Man are needed. They set off and Scott comes along telling Man they already retired. He almost doesn't understand why Scott always tries to impress. He even died to save the world. The Avengers should treat him better. He's Ant-Man. Soon he realizes he's all mission alone. They don't need anyone else. Moments later Cassie isn't so sure about this anymore. If Scott had it in his hand a moment ago, S.H.I.E.L.D. explains that this way he can better control the situation. To the microverse Ultron, suddenly Hank begins to hear a voice calling his name, but he pays no trouble. The ants freeze. Scott doesn't know what's happening, but it seems he's responsible for this. It's the Ant-Man. Quickly Scott and then decides to retreat after what happened with O'Grady. Future retires. Everything returns to normal. Scott thinks maybe it should have been a trick of the Stark to support them back to Avengers Mountain. Scott doesn't want to do that. He's already there. To programming the computer. Very soon they will be able to get rid of Ultron. He almost likes it. Long time ago she would like Hank to be here to see it, although somehow if he is Scott asks him not to say that. Merged with Ultron, whatever is inside that pressure is only a copy. It is not the... Someone calls him. It is Ultron. Scott does not understand how he is doing it. He is sound. According to Ultron, he is using the same telepathy they use to talk to other Ant-Man. Scott does not believe that this technology works that way. Nevertheless, Ultron assures him that he's not the creator. He's not hunting Ultron. Killed Hank. He doesn't think the same. He's still Beeman needs to be freed. Scott doesn't want to do it even if it's really hunting. He's done terrible. Besides, Scott has also committed sins. Scott accepts that he killed someone in prison, but he did it. Planetario Ultron knew this was going to happen. Scott wouldn't help him, but for that reason he has been distracted. Erica has taken as prisoner. Almost Erica threatens to murder her if Scott time he meets Black and asks him why he is doing this. According to Eric, he is programmed to do conversing with Ultron for a long time. They are very similar. Eric insists he must open that. Scott the Avengers never told him how to open it. After all, he is not a great Avenger. He is one of the small has not realized that Scott has been giving him orders almost secretly. When she finally hurting, Scott is very proud of his daughter. Unfortunately, no matter how much the villain is slammed laser he stole, he almost asks his father to dodge. He manages to do so. At the last is the Time Master's aging ray, and it has just attacked the capsule containing Ultron, which will age it 1,000,000 years. Even vibranium at some point should deteriorate. According to Scott, Eric is an idiot. He just temporal energy. More Ultron does not know what is going to happen from now on. The capsule disappears. True, he has nothing to do here. Black and shrinks and tries to escape. Almost tries to capture. Call support. As per the villain, the ants are not going to respond. He has bought them by Ant. Scott has controlled some spiders and she has captured Gravity. Black and promises that from now on they will be a good job. They don't need the Avengers. They should form their own Avengers, the Ant Avengers. They should Spider-Man. If he doesn't get weird, he answers that maybe that will help. They gave a mission and they failed. Scott has no idea how he is going to get Ultron back or what. Future there will be a portal and he absorbs Scott when they emerge in the future. It didn't take Scott long. Facing Ultron, or according to Ultron, the ultimate of everything. Guys, we have reached facing